I was never afraid of being alone. I never looked at it that way. I knew that I wanted to be successful, and I knew that I wouldn't be happy with myself if I wasn't successful. So for me, that was more painful than just cutting someone off, because it was more important, right? I didn't want to be that guy on my deathbed many, many years from now being like, man, shoulda, woulda, coulda. I did not want to be that guy. You're the average of the 7 people that you hang out with, right? You're the average. So if you think about it in those terms, like, okay, who are you hanging around? And then what's the average? That's a hard way to look at it, right? Like, you're the average of the 7 people you hang out with.
Is that just financially or morally, or how do you gauge that, everything?
All of it. All of it. I mean, all of it. I'm not just choosy about who I hang out with from a financial aspect. I'm choosy about who I hang out with from a value aspect or moral aspect, right? Like, if I'm hanging out with, people that are just doing stupid stuff, I'm gonna be the average of that. Partying, drinking, doing stupid stuff, then I'm gonna be the average of that. So I try to say, okay, I wanna hang out with people that, again, financially and morally are operating at a different level, so that I would be the average of that. If I go through my text messages, the last few people that I texted, one guy runs a $3 billion company, another guy's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, another guy's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm not talking to anybody that's like just doing like stupid stuff. You know what I mean? And if I was, then I'd be the average of that. But I'm not, So, and I got, you can see on my phone, I got 739 text messages that I have. So 739 text messages that I haven't responded to, but those 739 text messages are obviously things that aren't valued for me, right? Because it's like, you're so busy, you only have the time for the things that are gonna move the needle or have some value in your life, right? So it's you got to make a choice. You're not trying to ostracize yourself, but you only have so much time in the day. So if you're using it and you're spending time with things that aren't going to make you better or going to create value in your life, then isn't that a waste of time? So you got to be really careful, like, where are you putting your time?
I feel like it's hard for people to cut people off for their dreams. I mean, it's hard to say, my goals or my things that aren't needed by today's standards are more important than you as a human in my life. That's a hard decision to make for a lot of people.
Yeah, I see it every day. I see it every single day. I see people that are sacrificing their own happiness because they're just unwilling to cut somebody off. And I can see, like, if they did cut certain people off, they'd probably be more successful. So, it's sad. Super sad to see. But yeah, I never wanted to be that statistic. I did not want to be that statistic.
Was it initially hard for you to prioritize your own dreams and goals over people? Like, now it's easy, right? Because once you make it, it's like, I'm not going to give this up for you.
Yeah.
But when you're looking ahead, you don't even know if you're even going to make it. Like, you might wind up alone at the end of it all, right? And that's kind of like, I feel like that's where people get hung up, is like, should I risk being alone for my dreams?
I never looked at it that way. I was never afraid of being alone. I never looked at it that way. I knew that I wanted to be successful, and I knew that I wouldn't be happy with myself if I wasn't successful. So for me, that was more painful than just cutting someone off, because it was more important, right? I didn't want to be that guy on my deathbed many, many years from now being like, man, shoulda, woulda, coulda. I did not want to be that guy. So I was like, okay, that's way more painful for me than telling somebody that's not good for me that, hey, it's over. And it's not that you don't have to call the person and be like, hey, I'm not hanging out with you anymore. Like, I didn't do that, and I don't suggest people do that. But I think that if you have somebody that you're associated with that is not good for you, you just start to distance yourself. I mean, you could try to handle them and say, hey, look, I really need you to stop being negative around me or whatever. But if they don't stop, then ciao.